Hey Tom, how are you, man? You're like my best customer, man. How you been, man? I saw you got your machine up and running. All right. So, I think we're done, as I said, with this machine. There are a couple of issues that I will explain, but pretty much what I would like to do is just to try to break the machine. In other words, like just try to make it fail and see what needs to be addressed once that you put it into gameplay. I'm going to play 4-player games so all the reels can move, so everything inside the machine will be moved. So it would be interesting to see what is going to break after maybe a couple of hours. Great, great, Tom. Hey, Dave, how are you, man? Thanks for stopping by. All right, so let's see. Yeah, so we have 23 credits. I'm hoping just to keep to play only those credits because the max they require coins, which I don't have any quarter here, and the back. I mean, just going through the coin unit. I mean, the player unit, credit unit. It's kind of noisy because of the coil hitting the cabinet, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Player 1, player 2, player 3, and player 4. So, all right. So let's see what we can do. Alright, so one of the issues is the pop bumper on letter D, it is not working. I discovered that the coil of that bumper, it is shorter than the original. So if I let it go, it will actually hold the switch and it will be stuck. So I'm ordering the right coil. You can plug it. That's in case of the coil of the bumper of the letter D. Thanks, Dave. Thanks. Yeah, this machine, I do believe, is heading for Craptown. Mike Frasca bought it, and he asked me if I could help him to make it work. Yeah. Okay, so it's going through player 1, 2, and now it's player number 3. Let's score it accordingly. Alright, so ball is stuck in one insert, and I do believe also because of the pitch. So that can be also. Also, another issue that's still pending. It is the slingshot of the, I think it's the right or the left, it's missing, the whole assembly. So I'm waiting to get the part. Also, another thing is that I still need to rebuild, replace both plungers from the flippers, or the whole, pretty much, not the whole flipper assembly, but at least the plungers, they need to be replaced. There's actually a clip and a washer that is missing that holds the plunger with the, what's it called? Prowl? I don't remember. I think it's called prowl. The things that actually the thing that actually hold the flipper bat. I think it's called prowl. So in the middle of the game, when flipper gets stuck, it will be because it just separates the plunger from the pole. Hey Andrew, how are you, man? Long time no see. All right, Tom. So it is the pole. What? Pole. That pole. Pole. That's such a not word. Pole. 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 So it went through the first ball on the 4 players, I was supposed to. So now we are on ball 2, back to player 1. So the credit, the special, they actually shift from one place to another, one line to another, which that's how it's supposed to do. Alternate the outline. So if I hit the center target, I will be awarded an extra ball. Theory. There it is. So on the back box, he leads extra ball. So gonna be a lot of bonus. So the 100,000 leads in the back box. So it is 116,000. And because I was awarded with an extra ball, so the player remained player 1, still on ball 2. So in theory, when I lose this ball, I should just jump to player 2. I'm not even going to fight the machine. All right. Uh, the playfield, it's wax already. It's already wax. Uh, the pitch, pretty much, the problem is that the levels are completely rusted. And, but again, I mean, this is a demo. This is a demo just to check the functionality of the machine, rather than play the hell of it. But I guess that yes, once that it has the right pitch, it will be faster. I'm just happy that the coils from the flippers are strong enough to make the shots, which is great, because sometimes with these machines the coils are so underpowered sometimes that it's very hard to make shots, especially when you have spinners. So we just play player 2, now we're back to player 3. Oh, why I did that? Ha. Silly me, I just start a game. Okay, so everything's reset now. Well, at least all the reels got reset back to 0. Player 1, ball 1. So it reset fine, so I'm gonna start another game. Player 2, 3. Oh yeah, that was silly. That was silly on me. Sorry. Alright. But so far so good. So far so good. I like how the spinners are working. If I can hit them, of course. Bonus count works. Switching players work. Oops. Do not loot life catches. So player 3. Hey Kevin, thanks for stopping by, man. So this time we're on player 4. In the game before we were on player 3 and then I reset, so now we're player 4. So we're fine from 3 to 4. Okay. Back to player 1, ball 2. Alright, so there's an issue here that I still need to address. So it is not random. On player 2, once that you reach 20,000 points, the 100,000 light come on, which obviously is wrong. So I need to figure that out, why. But again, it doesn't affect the gameplay, it's just why the 100,000 light is on. So I'm afraid that's a score motor thing, and score motors on these machines are a bit intimidating. I need to make a little bit of research just to figure out why. I'm sure it's a switch. for a specific player 2, because player 1, 3, and 4 are not affected by that. So yeah, so that's something that I need to go through, but I'm afraid, or I think it is a discord motor. It is one switch. So the problem is to find the switch for player 2 on 20,000 points. So 20,000 points is when the 100,000 gets triggered. So, but again, I think it's something simple and doesn't affect the functionality of the machine. Okay. Hey Pancos, how are you, man? Thanks for stopping by. Okay, so we're on player 2, ball 3. So far switching, all the players working, all the reels are working. I haven't heard any reel getting stuck, trying to get a digit. On the game that we start, all of them reset fine. I'm not hearing any coil trying to do something. All the targets seem working and doing what they're supposed to do. Yeah, both spinners are working fine. So far so good. It's doing what's supposed to do, switching players, getting the bonus, scoring what's supposed to score. Yeah, I'm draining balls to the outlane, so it's normal. So it's good. And look for my coffee. Coffee's here. Coffee's here. Thanks, Kevin. Yeah, actually, it cleaned up pretty well. It cleaned up pretty well. It wasn't that bad. I mean, it was just dirty. There were a couple of weird issues on the cabinet when it comes to wiring, and pretty much most of the reels were stuck. They didn't move. Especially player 1, player 2, they have a lot of rust on them. Player 3, player 4, rust was not an issue, but they were all like sticky. So I disassembled all of them, cleaned them up, and I think they're doing their job. I had an issue with one of them. Pretty much was just a switch, adjustment of a switch. Gate on the left, on the right, he opened. You cannot see it on screen, but it actually open. And when you go through it, it will close. So that's fine. That really is fine. So we're now finally on player 1, ball 5. It has been working fine through all the players, through all the balls. Nothing gets stuck. Yep. So far so good. So far so good. Question about kick of D. Yeah, you mean the bumper? Yeah, I was explaining earlier that the problem with letter D, it is that the coil is shorter than the rest of the coils. So that means that it has a lot of play within the same bracket, within the bracket. The problem is that when it gets triggered, because it's loose, if it just gets hit in an angle, the switch will remain open, the coil will remain energized, so it will burn. So that is the problem. So that's why I'm ordering a new coil for that pop bumper, the letter D, so it can work. But scoring, I I manually trigger and scoring, it works. It's just that it will fire, and also because the coil is shorter, the spoon that triggered the switch, it has to make a longer travel. So that's why it doesn't get triggered very easy, unless you have it very close, which again, there's a risk that it will get energized because it will get stuck. So yeah, so that's the problem with letter D, if you were referring to that, Andrew. And another thing that I mentioned earlier that I have to do is to replace the plunger and the pawl of both flippers. Both flippers, probably, as you know, and there's the pawl and the plunger. They're joined by a small piece of metal, and then there's like a metal clip, a washer and a metal clip. Well, on both flippers, the washer and the metal clip are missing. So pretty much they're just being held by gravity. So I'm ordering also a new set of plunger and pawls so I can replace them. Oh, that's it again. I love these spinners, actually. You get an extra credit at 95,000. Also, now that I'm playing, I'm seeing that there are a few digits on the reels that are like missing. Not entirely missing. There's just their shade, kinda. So that will be something that will be nice to replace. Although, if I remember correctly, you cannot find. Okay, so got a match. So the match unit works. Player 2 ended up with 70, and the match gave 70, so I got a credit. So it does work, the match unit, so that's great. So yeah, so we played 4 players, 5 balls, and it did what it's supposed to do, which is great. So okay, so let's keep working, let's keep playing, because one of the reasons that I stream machines after I work, I mean, as I said, this is a torture test, because you want the machine to break. You want to see which one is the weak point, where's the weak point. so you can go back and fix that. So let's keep playing. Let's keep playing. Maybe until I run out of credits. Let's see. Let's see how. I don't remember how. What's the score? I mean, to give an extra credit. I know that 96,000 gave a credit. So I think it's set up for 2. Like if you reach one high score, give you a game. If you reach another high score, give you another game. I think. I don't remember the settings. I think it's around 60,000. Maybe. It will award you an extra credit. Which 60,000 points is perfectly doable. I might need to change that and just to award you credit. Probably 100,000 to give an award credit. Because on the games that I have played, I have been around 60 and above. And I'm not actually real like playing, trying to push the machine. Just casual playing. Hey Dave, how are you, man? Thanks for stopping by. I think this is the first time that I see you around here, like in the club of the No Life Club. The bonus because I completed all the letters. So bonus should be, I think 40. No, not yet. Who knows? A lot. 18,000 as a bonus. Yep, 18,000. Cool. So it does work. It does work the double bonus. I love the spinner. When you get a solid hit and boom, the center of that spinner. Of course, if the ball doesn't break it. It's working fine. I think also is some type like a torture test with the reels every time you hit a spinner, because it is the second reel. It will turn at the same speed of the spinner. Every spin will give you 10 points. So based on the speed that you're hitting, it will actually go the reel at that speed. So you can see it'll go really, really fast. more spins for 10,000. Let's cash that. Come on. 20 more spins. There it is. Alright. Boom. Credit. So it does work. It does work. That's the switch. When special is lit, you go roll over through that switch, boom, a credit's been awarded. So it does work also, that function. Mikey! How are you, Mike? Hey, as you see, the machine is ready, man. The machine is working. So far. Oops. There. Yay. Sweet. Great, so 60,000 points. So yeah, so I need to change that because it's 60,000 points, very easy to get. I will increase it. I don't remember exactly what are the values, but so again, so the first game gets awarded 60,000 points, which again is very easy. And so yes, I'm gonna raise that, because if the game is going into location, well, the house will not make money. So right now it's 81, extra ball is lit, and extra ball. Alright, so I got letter C is the one missing. See if I can get that letter C. Oh, I didn't see it. 95,000. All right, so 95,000 points. They give you an extra award, which makes sense. And 100,000 light elite. So player 3, so it's fine. It's working good. Hey TurboGraph, how are you, man? Thanks for stopping by. I'm good, man. I'm good. Thank you. Just giving a torture test to this machine that I just finished to put it together. So actually today I finished the last details. I think I have been working for maybe 2 weeks, I think. I don't know, I think I did 5 streams of this machine servicing it. I think we're done. I think we're done with this guy. Alright, so let's so on player 4, also the 100,000 light, it's late, so it does work. It's like, yeah, so we roll the machine. Is it? I'm not sure if we did. Maybe not. Maybe it's just it's bleeding light from the digit. Oh yeah, it's bleeding light. Okay. So we haven't passed 100K on player 4. Right there. spinner. Trying to little the bumpers. They look so nice. Okay. So from player 4, jump to player 1. Supposed to do scoring fine. We're on player 1, ball 3. Yep, I got an extra credit because I reached 60,000 points. Yeah. Clack. Unfortunately, I can see that the inserts, some of them they are capped, because I can see the ball jumping. Well, okay. I mean, it is what it is, I guess. Another thing that I remember that I adjust on the credit wheel, pretty much is like from 0, and in this case to 25. The wheel came with the break at 10 credits, so you couldn't add any extra credit after 10. So it's just like, wonder why. I don't get it, why you will limit the credit wheel. I don't get it. So obviously I removed the break. I removed the break to 10, and I put the break back to the original position, I guess, that is 25. So 25 is the max number of credits you can have in the game. Which then has a lot of credits. But hey, maybe you will never see that number again on location, but hey, at least it's there, at least it's working. So that's what matters. Alright, so we went above 100,000 on player 1 for the first time. So the light of 100,000 is lit now. So that works. Which means that obviously the relay of 100,000 is working. Player 3 now. which has 120 something. Because again, as I was saying, that's one of the reels that has like missing digits. I think it was a 3 because now it's a 4. A very faded 4. So I was saying that unfortunately you cannot find a sticker with those numbers. And I remember reading somewhere a while ago. So I used to have, it was a Williams. I don't remember what machine it was. That it has similar issue. That some of the digits were like fading out. And I remember reading somewhere that they couldn't be recreated like sticker to put on it because of the license of the font that it was used. I don't remember the name of the font that has been used on these reels, but there was a limitation of license, and that's why Williams in that case couldn't replicate as a sticker the digits to sell them afterwards because of a font issue, a font license issue. So it's an interesting story. I mean, it's good that actually people respect licenses. So say no to piracy, kids. Because piracy is bad. Alright, so this is ball 5. All the players are above 100k except player 4. Player 4 has 72,000. So, yeah, that insert in the outline, it's cut. So I'm hoping that once I get the right pitch, we will just go through. I mean, the machine pretty much right now is pretty flat. So. Another issue that I was having early when I was working was the spinner. Actually, when they will spin, the actual wire that controls the switch will move just like a hair, like a couple of millimeters off, and it will keep the spinner stuck, closed. And I could hear the coil like buzzing. So I have to adjust that wire or that guide, whatever it's called, so the spinner doesn't get stuck open or closed in this case. So it seems like it's working because for all the times that I'm putting the spinner, I haven't seen it getting stuck. It's getting stuck, so that's fine. All right, so player 3. Alright, so player 4, ball number 5, 72,000 points. All the other guys, they are well above 100,000. So it will be great if I can go above 100. So at least I feel that I made something, but it won't happen. So it was 86,000. It does work. It does work. Max on credits back to 25 after all these games. So yeah, I need to change that. I need to change the number of points where a credit is awarded, because I do believe there's a low. And again, if the machine is going to be on location, you cannot give games that easy. I know sounds mean, but yeah, that's how business are, I guess. Greedy, yeah, business are greedy. Pinball should be free for everybody. Alright. Hey Shane, how are you, man? Thanks for stopping by. It was good to see you, man. Alright, so how long we have been streaming? So 47 minutes, so yeah, we still have some time. Again, I'm hoping to break something. That's pretty much the goal, to break something. So let's see. I'm really happy with these coils. They are not the original. It's not the original value. It's actually the next value, I guess. So it's a bit stronger, which is great. So I'm happy with those coils. Bonuses max. It would be great if I can get double bonus, but I shouldn't letter B. I'm not interested in extra balls. I want letter B. And it's gone. Yeah, it was good, man. Good to catch up, man. It was good. Hey, Sean, how are you? How are you, my friend? Thanks for stopping by. Finally see bow and arrow working. So we're trying to break the machine, but everything's working so far. So all the bonus. So now spinner. Oh. Yep. Don't shoot the center target. Okay. Form. think if I can get at least 2 hours of solid game, I'll be fine. Yeah, 60,000 points. Yeah, it's low. I'm not sure if I can go above 100k to award credit. If you guys ever work on an EM and see in the back box how you can set up to award credits based upon a specific score, it's kind of a bit tricky because you have several wires that are plugged into the wood of the cabinet, and then you have to, each one has a value, and I think each one has a value of 10,000 points. I'm not sure, I don't remember exactly, but pretty much anyway, you have to plug them in a specific combination to get a specific number, a specific score that you want to award the extra credit. So a lot of them is pretty much like hit and miss, because it will say you have to plug the wire brown or the blue or yellow with the net with yellow with white or any other combination, but the colors are faded, completely faded. So what is red now is brown, what is black now it's gray. So it's a lot of hit and miss just to get the right combination. And but I think in this case I will need to adjust it. I don't think there's a need to award 2 credits. Currently it's giving a extra credit at 60,000 points, and the second one is awarded, I do believe, if I don't remember, 95,000 points. So I think I will remove the one at 60,000, and I will see if I can go above 100,000. Otherwise I will just award it at 100,000. Because the other option, if I replace a credit option, it will be an extra ball, and I think on location, especially if it's in a league and tournament, I think it's not worth extra ball and extra ball. So I think it's better that the extra ball gets awarded by hitting the targets that they need to be targeted, rather than making points. Which the extra ball work. If I remember correctly, the extra ball gets triggered by lighting A, B, C, and D, and then you have to shoot the center target, that one, if it's lit, of course. Thanks, Sean. Thanks, man. I really like how it came out, actually. I mean, honestly, there were a couple of days when I was streaming and that I was working in the back box or in the reels, and I will see the play field that it was like, oh my god, I still have to do a lot of things. But yeah, I think when I was cleaning the play field, I think I did a stream, I was just thinking myself, boy, this is so easy compared to like a DMD machine. I think the last DMD machine that I took apart is World Cup Soccer. Even though World Cup Soccer is an easy game. Easy game in the way like layout and toys and rams that you need to remove. Yeah, this is nothing. This is cake. This is cake. So I think I to work on the play field, I think I split it in 2 days, 2 sessions, I guess. One was to remove everything and to clean up the plastics and other parts, all the posts on the ultrasonic cleaner. Pretty much everything that is not painted was into the ultrasonic cleaner, which is a great tool. And the rest was just wash by hand. And I think they come good. Yeah, but honestly, right now I'm hoping to break something, you know, because the machine is going to location, so you want to have the machine bulletproof, you know. And again, as I mentioned earlier on the stream, I have a coil missing for letter D bumper. That is missing. Well, actually, it's not missing. It has the wrong coil. So I'm ordering the right coil. I'm also ordering a new set of plunger and pawl flippers, because right now they are being just hauled by gravity, which actually works pretty well. And what else? What else is? Oh, and there's something with this for player 3. When you reach, I think 20,000 points, the 100,000 light comes on, which, again, it doesn't have a gameplay, but I would like to take a look at that. What else? So we have the the slingshot. Yeah, the slingshot for the right one is completely missing. Completely missing. The machine came without the slingshot. So yes, pretty much I need to find a parts machine so I can remove that. And actually, when was yesterday? Yesterday I went on eBay, and actually there is. So if worse comes to worse, I cannot find a parts machine from someone in the local. I mean eBay. eBay will sell it. So I'm not concerned with that. We max the bonus, so I think I want the letters. Oh. Letter C. Oops. Oh boy, one is playing. Careless Whisper. I hate that when the spinner gets stopped. I don't hate one, it's just the spinner. Wah, 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 wah. Wah, 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 wah. Whoa. It's scoring fine. It's scoring fine. Well, it's going through all the players in order. It's going through all the balls in order. I haven't heard any reel getting stuck or like trying to get a digit or... Nope. They're working fine. I think that the bumpers that are working, which is A, B, C, and E, they fire, they're supposed to fire. Sometimes when I adjust their switches, either they are too easy to fire or too hard. I think they're fine now. I think they fire at the right speed of the ball. Yeah, so player 1 just got another credit because he reached 94,000. At the beginning of the stream I said, okay, the machine has 25 credits. I'm just gonna play those 25 games and that's it, but I'm back to 24 and I have been like almost for an hour. So yeah. So I think I'm just gonna play the 2 hours, and usually I will go 3 hours on my streams when I play. Like, yeah, 3 solid hours playing one game. I was gonna say solid game, but no. 3 hours of playing okay pinball in one machine. So think 2 hours continuously on this machine. I think that gave me an idea that the machine has its torture test, I guess. Some location. This machine is not going to be played for 2 straight hours. Game after game after game is not. So, I mean, a lot of people will say, hey, just play 2 games and that's it. Player 1 and player 2. And I just want to be sure that everything's working. Alright, so, oh, I got my double bonus. I was meant to get the 10,000 bonus, so at least I can get 20,000 bonus. So that's like a goal, I guess. Get a double bonus with 10,000 lit. So I get the max, which is 20,000 bonus. I think in order to get a double bonus, I need to hit all the letters. Which I'm looking right now that the letter C on the insert is not coming up. Which, that's easy. I know that the bulb is fine. Pretty much it's just a socket. The socket is just dirty. Or sometimes because of the vibration of the same machine. It's hard. You might come out, but that's easy. No worth. I mean, it's not worth to raise a playfield just to check a bulb. It's not worth. Ball 5, player 3. Alright. So 81,000 points. So, I think it's 83. That's another reel that is missing. The tiny switches around the playfield that gives 10 points that are working. Yep, the match works. Looks good. 25 credits again. So let's play another game. All the reels reset. 1 player, 2 player, 3 player, 4 player. Yep. There it goes again. Here it goes again. I'm so happy that the spin, especially the left one, is working, because earlier today when I was kind of like fine-tune everything, that spinner will get stuck on the open position or the closed position also. And I will have to raise the playfield, I mean turn off the machine, because the core will be energized, and if I let it go, it will just burn. But I'm happy it's working. It doesn't get stuck, so that means that the adjustment was correct. Wow! He came out from the dead. Okay, so I need C and D. There it is. Oh! Double bonus actually. So 20,000 points. It wasn't 22. Yep, it's working good. It's given the proper bonus, so that's fine. Working good. All right. So You guys, do you guys have any questions or comments? I mean, I know that there's some people out there just shy to type, or I don't know, fingers are too fat. Just kidding. Anyway, just need something. Because Wham is gone. I was listening to Careless Whisper, so that's finished. So now it's playing. What song is that? Manic Monday. Monday again tomorrow. Yeah, Monday tomorrow. Back to the daily grind. Yeah, it's working good. Yeah, 2 rollovers work. Yeah, that one work. Come over here. There's another credit. Yeah, still 100,000 light comes up at 20,000 points. Yeah. Yeah, score motors on these machines, that's like black magic. That's like black magic. Trying to understand the score motor of IEM. That's voodoo, really. That's crazy stuff. I don't know, guys, if you have seen a score motor of IEM, otherwise just Google it. And it's a scary thing. So many things moving up, so many things. But the cool thing is that, it's something that I will respect always of EMs, that there's no computer. So the machine will keep track of your progress, of what you do, without a computer, and it will only with relays and switches based upon the position of the switches, if they're open, if they're closed, and it will keep track of that, and that's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. I mean, obviously right now that anything can do that. I mean, your watch can do it, but actually even like a silly script for your browser will do the calculation. But back in the 70s, where obviously the computer was the size of your room, and to achieve this mechanically, I think it's a great deal from the engineering point of view. Okay, so we got everything, we got all the letters hit, yay! So I think every time we hit a bumper now, I do believe it's 100 points instead of 10. Yeah, it's 100 points. Let's see. I'll see you on the next one. Hey James, how are you, man? Thanks for stopping by. Thank you. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy how we end up this machine. I'm happy. And as I was telling earlier on the stream, this is a torture test, just to check that everything is working, which seems to work. All the reels are moving. So it's a scoring, how it's supposed to score, except for a small detail for player 2, but that the 100,000 life, it will turn on at 20,000 points, but it doesn't affect the scoring actually of the reel, that's what matters, really. Oh, come on. The bonus unit works fine. It awards the proper bonuses. Spinners work and everything. So far so good. I mean, so far so good. I mean, a couple of things that still need to work, but other than that, everything is working. Okay, so I just need a letter C to get double bonus. Bonus is max 10,000 points. So, yep, there it goes. So player 4 is 2,000 per 3K. So I'm sure that on the next ball I will get awarded credit again for player 1. Player 1 is 85,000 points, and so at 90,000 it will give us extra credit. Radio Kill, no, radio no. Video Killer Radio. It's such a nice song. It's really a shame that I cannot raise the volume of the music. Really, really a shame. Because otherwise the copyright police will come and say, what's that? Which sucks. And the funny thing is that on YouTube and on Twitch, you can be playing copyright material during your stream, and the stream will go out fine. Problem is that afterwards, once the stream is over, and if you have copyright material, Twitch will mute that part. YouTube, depending on the artist and the song, either it will block the video in specific countries or regions, or will actually block it worldwide. In the case of Facebook Live, it's constantly monitoring what's going on. And I noticed also, because there's a delay, it's pretty much on Twitch and YouTube Live, there might be like a 5-second delay, but on Facebook, there's like almost like a 10-second delay. It might not seem much, but I think that's because the material, as the stream goes out, it's been monitored. Because it could happen that I will be playing whatever song, and that obviously that is copyright, and boom, the stream will be shut down on Facebook. The stream will continue on Facebook and on Twitch and on YouTube, but on Facebook actually it will be cut. So I think that delay that exists is because it's just been monitored constantly. So it's not like go there and do whatever you want. It definitely is being not watched, but it's being monitored by servers. So it sucks though, it does suck, because I would love to hear music, but then even if I have like a party going on here, and if you want to go back to the stream, you won't hear anything. It will be like a silence film. And I don't know, maybe I'm telling a bad joke, or I'm mixing up words as usual, and you won't be able to listen to that. So yeah, it sucks. It sucks. Because what we say in this stream is very important. And you need to listen. Maybe not now, but later. So it sucks. And the funny thing is that even though I'm sure obviously Facebook is aware, and a lot of people like me that stream, Facebook has a library of music that says, hey, you guys, you can play this music on your streams. It's free to use. And man, the other day I listened to some samples they have. Actually, they have a very extensive library of tracks, different type of moods, which is funny. And some of them are really, really bad. I mean, actually, the majority of it's bad. I mean, not bad in the sense that, oh my god, that music really, really sucked, you better change career. No. I mean, I don't know. Each one their own taste. But anyway, but there's a lot of music out there. So, it's just like, I'm not sure I want to listen to that. I mean, yes, good. I mean, I'm sure it's good for the artist because it's getting promoted. I'm sure that the metrics, he's saying, hey, you remember that song that you did? Well, now it's been played by a guy that streams pinball. But, so, I mean, that's good for him, but then it's just like for me, for us, it's like, I don't know. So maybe one day, I will enable the music. But you know, it will be funny though that Facebook claimed, okay, this bunch of tracks are free to use. And it will be funny that later on, next day, YouTube or Twitch saying like, yo, you cannot play this music, it's blocked here and blocked there. So yeah. Which actually, now that I'm saying that, I will have no doubt that. Because obviously if you're an independent artist, you want to promote your music and you want to set up some type of rules at some point, I guess. I don't know. And so maybe these artists say like, I don't want to deal with those guys of YouTube. They are too greedy. So yeah, I'm not gonna give them my song. I'm just gonna give them to the good guys of Facebook or Twitch. So yeah, it will never catch up, because then you will have music that is supposed to be free, that you can play on Facebook, and all the Facebook people is happy. But then all the YouTube people or Twitch people will like, what is this? We cannot take that. So it really sucks. It really sucks that I can play music. And the thing is that I like to keep my streams actually. I do like to keep them on. A lot of people don't care. I mean, they just stream and on to the next one. But in my case, I like to keep them. I like to go back and watch the games that I work. I can see also if I gain or if I lose weight. So I can go back and say like, man, you need to change clothes. It's like this thing, this sweatshirt, pretty much I will wear it when I'm here in the basement during fall or winter, because it's really cold. And I don't care to, especially if I'm working with a machine, I don't care if it gets all dirty of grease or anything. So it's like your shop sweater, your shop jacket, right? And it's funny because today I took it out for the first time this year, and I remember seeing one of my streams that I did probably, I think 2 years ago, and I'm wearing the same jacket with the same marks of paint that I did maybe 4 years ago. So it's like that. Well, you know, it's fine. It's fine. It's Sunday. This machine has a lot of grease. It was really dirty, so it's okay. It's okay. Oh well. Alright, so where we are. So we are back to 25 games. Yeah. I'll change that during the week. So what time is it? We have been streaming for 1 hour 20. So 40 more minutes more. So far no errors on the machine. I think the machine is pretty much solid at this point. And so it's good. I don't know, guys, if you have something you want to talk about for the next 40 minutes. Don't be shy. I know there's people out there. Don't be shy. That's cool. Work. I'm here. Oh, I start a player on just a one game. I'm just gonna drain that. I want to play 4-player game. Yeah, 1-player game is just like no fun. Ball number 4. And ball number 5. Alright, so let's do that again. Man, I love how the wheels go. So smooth. Butterly smooth. I think a game that I'm gonna stream maybe tomorrow's Monday. Funhouse. I haven't streamed Funhouse actually. We're gonna criticize Funhouse, which I do believe is an overrated game. You know, always so bitter games. Hold on a second, let me just I'll read the message. So letter C is the other thing we need. I would like to get max bonus. What I don't see is why a player will want the gate in particular. Let's see what the gate in particular. You mean that the gate that is here? Um, why a player will not want it? Well, I think if you're like playing, yes, you will go through that. Off the bat is 3,000 points. Uh, so pretty much 3,000 points. You hit it open, and then when you shoot, you get a chance to go into the saucer on top. So you have a chance to get more points. I mean, right now it's like I don't care. But let's see how hard it is to hit the gate. I don't know if that's what you're referring, like why I'm not trying to hit the gate. Let's see. So we got already 3,000 points just to open the gate. Let's open. And then we'll get another 3,000 points if I hit it again. So the gate is open now. And it will remain open until I go through it, or I lose the ball. Now how hard it is to get the gate to the gate, let's see. So the flip over there needs to be like this. Alright, so it's not on the very tip. So before. Early. That's early. Can we back the gate? Let's see. No, it's not the right weight. Got it. There's the advance bonus. Oops. Another thing that I haven't tried, I think volleys, yeah, you can tap pass. I haven't tried to tap pass in this guy. Whoa. Yeah. Nope. Usually for me, it is just easier to tap pass from the left to the right. Yeah, that's too strong. But I learned to tap pass from Paragon, and I can always tap easy with my left hand than with my right. I think because my right hand is dominant, it will send more power. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, no, it's too much. Too much. Let's see, we can tap pass more. I remember a while ago on Paragon, it was like dribble the ball, like from one flipper to another, just back and forth doing tap pass. And that's like a cool exercise if you want to practice. I personally find it easier to do it again on a volley. So on a Williams, it will just jump like that. Let's see. The ball. Yeah. Too much power. Yeah, too much power. And then like last spinner. You can do all live catches. Can you do post transfer? Whoa. Let's see. Quack. Whoop. Let's see. 2, 20,000 points. Get to the gate. Right. I think once that the bumper is working, the letter D, it will be just easier to get into the gate maybe. Yeah, it's a very tight shot. It needs to bounce on the post to go straight. Yeah. Okay, you can post. So we got all the letters and we double the bonus, so that will be a nice bonus. So yep, 20,000 points. Good. Which obviously 20,000 points, it's a max, it's nothing compared for today's games. I mean, especially if you hit the spinner, is 10 points per spin, or even if you hit the small targets throughout the playfield, they give you 10 points. Even the pop bumpers will give you 10 points. Only 100 points when they are lit. So there's no like 1,000 points shot, except for the gate, actually the center target. Center target will give you 1,000, 2,000, 4,000 and 5,000. The center target. So that's nice. So if you hit that one, it will give you a lot of points. But of course, by hitting any center target, you are risking yourself draining right through the middle. So far so good with this machine. Again, this stream is like a torture test for this machine. So far so good. Oh yeah, I got stuck in the insert. Yeah. Yeah, it is hard to get the ball inside the gate through here. I don't think it's impossible, but the angle, it's very, very narrow angle to get it through the gate. I'm sure that one of the bumper, the D, is working. I think it will be just easier to get it. I think that was a shot for the gate if it was open. Little thing called Love by Queen. Such a good band. Such a good band, Queen. Don't break the spinner. Spin. I have to hit it first. Letter D. There it is. Little bonus. Now we can get. Maximize the bonus would be great. Good feeling. Ah, we couldn't mix it. How are you, Lena? Thanks for stopping by. How you been? Alright, so back to 25 credits. I really love it. I will never get tired of listening all those resetting. That's such a rewarding sound. Alright, so let's see. Let's try again. Oh, for player. It's like machine gun switch. It's like the end of stroke switch. Just getting close and close, which I believe is also because the flipper, as I mentioned, the plunger is just being the plunger and the pawl is just being held by gravity. So I'm sure that once that I get the new parts for the flippers, that will be resolved. But so far, they're working fine. So far, it's doing fine. Okay, player 4 at the box, at the head box is not lit, which again could be a socket. It's hard to shoot the gate from the flipper. You might have better luck if it's bouncing. Yeah, not even back. Yeah, definitely. Once the bumper is there, letter D, you should get it. So double the bonus and it's gone. Okay, so now player 4 is lit, so yeah, definitely it's just a bulb that is loose. The socket probably is... Usually the sockets are the ones that are the culprit for that. Problem is when it's a switch. That's a headache. So far so good. So far so good. No funky errors at all. Hard shot, definitely it's a hard shot from the flipper to the gate. I have tried to hit at different angles and it's just like, it's hard. Definitely something needs to bounce. It is like the ABCD targets. Hitting them directly is very hard. It's just easier to bounce. I mean, it's not impossible, but it's just easier. Just by hit them when the ball is bouncing. Yeah, there's nothing to do with that. Nothing to do. Once the ball goes into the outline, just like that, boom, there's nothing to do. No nudge will save it. Hey, dude. Klimber, gosh, thanks. How are you, man? Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for stopping by on this torture test. Another game is awarded. Awesome, awesome. That's great. That's good to hear, man, that you're good. Good. So yeah, so we're pretty much here just trying to break the machine, trying to break this machine. This is a machine that I was commissioned to shop it, bring it back to life. I'm actually just finished today. I streamed 5 times while I was shopping it, and pretty much today I just finished. And I wanted to give it like a torture test, pretty much, you know. Putting it to test like for 2 straight hours, game after game after game. I'm trying to find if there's something else that I need to work. The machine still have a couple of issues, which are very easy to get to fix once I get the parts, but mostly with these guys, like the scoring, the reels, and all the switches and relays, you just want to be sure that they are fine. So that's why I'm doing this stream, just playing game after game after game after game, and hoping that the machine will break before I deliver the machine, or the machine gets picked up. Also because this machine is going to location, so I want to be sure that it's fine. That it can take the money of the visitors. Thanks man, thanks. Yeah, I'm actually very happy with the way how this machine ended up. It wasn't that bad from the beginning. It was, I mean, it was not working. The usual thing with the EMs. All the stepper motors were like junk. And there were a couple of things that under the play field, there's just like, what's going on here? But it's working good. Hit something. Ugh. So we maxed the bonus. I can see there's a light over there blinking, which is again a socket, which that's very easy, like strobing. I'm trying to hit the gate from the flipper, and it's just very hard. Yeah. Player 4, ball 4. Let me get my bottle of water. Let's play a one-player game. Let's see if I mess it up. Whoa, I hit the camera. Sorry, guys. To land the camera, having my bottle of water. try to do this everything with one hand. I just need the ball to go up so I can align the camera. So, alright. There it is. I fixed it for someone else. Pretty much, we have a local arcade, and the operator of that arcade bought this machine, and he asked me to work on the machine because he knows that I actually enjoy doing this. I actually enjoy more fixing machines than actually playing. So yeah, so I was commissioned to fix this machine. Oh, too low. To make it stronger on the kick out, well, I will start with the basics. Pretty much to disassemble the whole kick out, replacing the sleeve, replace the plunger, the coil stop. I will start with that. I will measure the coil, their resistance, to see if it's up to spec. Otherwise, I will just replace. I will replace the coil if it's like burn or it's not up to spec. If everything's up to spec, some people like to change coils for a stronger coil, which actually that's something you can do. But if you have a problem, which could be a bad plunger, a bad sleeve, I recommend pretty much to fix that first and putting a stronger coil, because pretty much will be a bigger trouble, because no matter what coil you have, you will have the same issue. So I will start with the basics. Again, just to disassemble the unit, replace the plunger, replace the sleeve, replace the coil stop. And also when you put it together, you need to be sure that everything is aligned, because sometimes when you take it down, or actually even after use, the screws or actually the whole assembly will shift. I mean, like nothing, like really a couple of hairs, and that will be enough for the plunger to rub into the sleeve. And but I think I will start with that. And again, once that you replace all that and that you check that your coil is fine, and if you still want it stronger, you can add a stronger coil. Although the only, obviously, you need to check that the voltage is the same, but the height of the coil is very important, because otherwise, when you assemble everything, if it's too tall or too short, the screws that hold the coil won't match, you know, because either it's too tall, the coil, or it's too short. So you need to be sure that the dimensions of the coil is exactly the same. A stronger coil, but just have the same dimensions, and that's it. Pretty much that's it. Oh, it's over. Let's keep playing with one hand. It's like more casual. more lounge. Alright, 4 players again. So that's something that I would recommend, rather than just getting a stronger coil and put it. And it's just first to replace the parts of that, and then if you still want more power, just get a stronger coil. Oh, what's the other hand? All right, so if your guy told you that pretty much the source of power to the coil is just losing, just run a new wire, because it had happened, and yes, I can understand your tech guy, because the wire is so old, sometimes it just gets broken. Who knows where, and nobody in this world will actually trace a specific wire on an EM machine. It's just absurd. There are hundreds of wires, and they're fragile that if you bend them, they might break. They are so brittle, they might break. So the easiest is just to run a new wire. If your tech knows very well the source, just run a new wire. He can run a new wire, and he can attach it very nicely, so it doesn't look like a sketchy repair. But I have done that before with similar cases. But in my case is that, I don't know, a feature is not working, and when I will plug it directly, it will work, and at source actually I will have voltage, but somewhere it's broken, or the connection is just very thin or something. So when I have that, I just run a new wire. And problem solved. There's no need to remove the old wires. Really, there's no need. Well, usually when it comes to loose voltage, okay, if it's losing voltage, if the voltage is like weak, it could be on a gut lift. How it's called this? And I always forget the name of this stupid thing. Oh my god. It is the square thing that has 4. Thanks, hold on a second. What's the name of that stupid little thing? This is the diagram of this machine, and this is it. It is called the rectifier. Yeah, the power rectifier, which is pretty much in this case bow and arrow. I mean, obviously every machine is different, but the rectifier, which is this, which obviously you cannot see because it's too far and too small. But let me see which camera. Wow, that guy. You see, that's rectifier. Those things, pretty much, in my case, in this machine, they do control the slingshots and the bumpers, the circuits. So if that thing goes bad, it will be reflected on those. So you might want to check your rectifier. Rectifier is, if the rectifier is fine, well, actually you will backtrack and you will check if the transformer is outputting the right voltage. If the transformer is putting out the right voltage, I will definitely get a diagram. It will make your life easier. Even though if you don't know electronics, it will help you actually to trace, to go back. I mean, you will understand it. I'm sure you will understand it. If you just look at it and figure it out, it has some kind of logic, you know. So get the diagram. Gottlieb's, you cannot download the diagram, the schematics. You have to buy them due to licensing, Gottlieb licensing. So PBR, Pinball Resource, is a great place where you can buy the schematics of Gottlieb. And you can backtrack. You can backtrack from in this case, the slingshot you said. Look for the color of the wire and see where it goes. And pretty much with alligator clips, you know, in alligator clips, you can jump it and see where you can identify where the wire is broken or where it's actually losing voltage. You can pinpoint. Once that you have the schematics will help you a lot, because rather than going through relay by relay, which actually you can make more damage. Hold on a second, because I'm having a cramp on my back. I'm getting too old for all this shit. Anyway, so instead of going through relays and switches randomly, you can actually make more damage. I won't suggest just to go open the machine and just see every relay, because the way how machine work is that all the relays, they have to work together. If one relay is not making its job, it will just make a chain reaction with the rest of the routine, if I say that. So I will suggest get the schematics and backtrack and identify. First, you need to be sure what's working and what's not, because that will be very good to know that in case you make a mistake or something happen, you realize, okay, this used to work and now it does not work. At some point, that information will help you to identify the problem. But I think that's it. I think you can backtrack it. But again, I will insist, do not just open the machine and start just trying to adjust or try to clean up switches, because really it's very easy. It's very easy to mess it up. And again, identify the problem and just focus on that problem. It will make your life easier, actually. Yeah, and I can understand your guy, because I don't know. I mean, I do this really just for a hobby. I mean, it's not my job. Maybe if it was my job, I will hate it. People that know me, and they will bring me their machines, and I will actually fix them for free. I don't charge them, and the only thing that I ask is obviously to reimburse me for the parts. I will just make a list of the parts that I need, send that list with the cost of them, and say, okay, are you okay for me spending X amount of dollars? Yes or not? I'll get the parts, I'll get reimbursed, I'll work on the machine. But at the same time, I'm not tied to a deadline, you know. It's like, okay, you have a week to finish this machine. Like, no, I work based upon my mood. You know, there's some days that I want to work 8 hours straight on the machine, and there will be days that I don't want to even look at it. So yeah, but again, I don't know. I think it's a matter of love, I guess. But yes, I don't know. It's interesting, and I think there's no more reward than when you get a broken machine and you turn it on and boom, it just works. And that's a very rewarding feeling, at least for me. Every time I work on a machine and I flip the switch and it's working. And I mean, like right now we have been for 2 hours, game after game after game after game, and machine has been rock solid. So that's rewarding. At least that's what I'm getting out of working on these machines. And I don't care to own it, honestly, because I own a few machines, and people will say that, oh, you should be playing all day. Nope, I don't play them. I mean, really, I don't turn them on. I mean, my friends will joke with me because I will tell them I just play them when I'm waiting for my dryer to finish, you know. And that's when I will play a game, not even several, you know, just one game, and that's it. But I think you can do it. I mean, again, it's not rocket science. I mean, it's once that you get a hold of it, I think that once that you understand the diagrams, like, okay, this is a rectifier, this is a normally open switch, this is a normally closed switch, this is a ball. You know, once that you understand the diagram, like the tiny drawings, I think you're good. I think you're good, and don't rush it. Definitely don't rush it. Take your time. Get the right tools. Get the right tools to do the job. If you're gonna adjust switches, that's very important. And really do it whenever you feel inspired, you know. Because if you see like, oh my God, I need to finish this today, believe me, it won't work. It won't work. But again, I mean, I do it. It's a matter of love. I mean, you know, the love that I have for pinball. I mean, this is not my job, and I hate it. If it was my job, probably I will hate it. Oh, thank you for watching this. It was so weird, to be honest. I mean, this is the first time that I actually will do that. It was so funny. I think that, especially having a camera on my forehead, it was just like, what? The position. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm glad you enjoy it. If you have any question, I'll be happy to try to answer it if I know. I'm not an expert, no means, but we can discuss, and we can troubleshoot and figure it out. Gottliebs are great machines. The only thing that I remember that are tricky are the score motors. Score motors actually still for me is like voodoo, you know. They're like, that's black magic, man. Score motor is black magic. That's intimidating. But again, sometimes you have to tackle them. And at least actually I need to work on this one, the score motor, because on player 2, once that you reach 20,000 points, the 100,000 light comes up, and so I'm sure there's something going on the score motor that is telling, yo, when you get 20,000 points, shoot the 100,000 light. So I'm sure it's a switch. I'm hoping it's a switch. But that means that I need to go and check the diagram of the score motor and try to figure out what can be the problem. And score motors usually are really, really dirty. Really dirty, so I'm not looking forward, but I mean, it is not crucial for gameplay. I think the machine is playing fine, it's doing what it's supposed to do. It's counting all the points that needs to be counted, so I'm happy with it. I don't know if you follow me on Twitter or Instagram, but the next project, it's a Mars track. And I'm looking forward to work on that machine. It's a Sonic, and it's a beautiful machine. Playfield is pristine. It hasn't been shot in years. I don't think it ever have been shot. So I will do the same, what I did with this one. Go through the reels and, well, turn it on and see what's broken. See what's broken and then figure it out. Oh, sorry. Come on, box stuck in the insert. And yeah, figured out what's wrong with that one. It's a beautiful machine, and it's funny because I don't know who told me that Sonic machines, because they were made in Europe, they use different chemicals for their playfield. Stronger chemicals, better chemicals, but toxic. And which means that playfield, it doesn't have any wear at all. But the paint is toxic. I don't know. Toxic, when I say toxic, like back in the day when they apply, I don't know what chemicals have. Obviously now those chemicals are inert, maybe. But usually those machines, they will have beautiful colors. No wear again. But pretty much it's a Williams. Most of the parts are Williams with the Sonic stamp. And it'll be fun. My Instagram, it is Score Motor. Was one of the reasons I called the repair guy. The cool thing he did was call me on that. He basically said that I'd rather not do it again. How you do it? I was having some issues on the tents, but before the flippers went out, they're working. Alright, so you were having issues on the tents. What type of issue? The flipper, the reels won't move? Or what type of issue? And my Instagram, it is like my username here. One iPod, one pinball. You can just Google one iPod, one pinball, and I'm sure it will come my Instagram and my Twitter and Facebook and all those things. Yeah, I don't know what issue you're referring on the tents, on the reel, on the scoring. I mean, it was not scoring or the reel won't move. Will not score 10 at all. Okay, so yeah, definitely that's a score reel. And the thing is, let me take a look at the diagram of this guy again. But honestly, I'm not 100% familiar with even how they score. I mean, I know that if you see, I mean, I cannot zoom, the camera's too far, but there is this like Z, that is the position of the switches. And honestly, how I will start with the score motor, it is to, if I remember on Gottlieb's, you have to put it on service mode. You put it on service mode, and then you can open it. If I remember, you actually, like a book, flips. Once you put it on service mode thing, and what I will do is just to check, to clean up the switches. Clean up the switches, you know, with a file. For switches, and check that the gap, I'm sure you have seen those tiny nylon spacers, I'm sure you have seen them, and I noticed that when scores start acting up weird is because one of those nylon spacers is missing. Now those nylon spacers, they are pretty much, I think I'll say, rivet to the leaf, and if it's missing, pretty much you have to replace that leaf with the spacer. So maybe that's a problem in your case. And actually you can see that because if you see the stack of switches or stack of leaves, you can see that the nylon spacer, it's obviously separating some switches. If it's missing, you can actually see where the spacer used to be, where it was rivet. So I will check that. I think what I will do is start with the switches, clean up the switches of the score motor, check that the spacing is fine, check that they open and they close when they're supposed to. Sometimes also the nylon spacers, they will be off center, like either too pushed to the forward, usually forward. So that means that the gap is shorter, which obviously will touch. Instead of separating, it will actually touch the contact. So I will check that. Yeah, I think that will be my very first step. And I'm sure that will fix your issue. Now, in your case, because you say it's the number 10th, you will have just to identify of the rows of the stack of switches, which one belongs to the 10th. And I'm assuming that the 10th is not working on any of the 4 players, right? I'm assuming that's what's happening. The 10 relay was basically frozen. The 10th relay, when you say frozen, you mean like energized? Because if it's energized, that means that there's a switch that it's closed when it's supposed to be open. So I don't know what you mean frozen, if it's energized. Obviously, if it's energized, it will burn the coil eventually. If you can get an idea if it's energized. Let's say that it's energized, that the number 10th is energized. You turn off the machine, right? You turn it back on, and if you hear one of the chimes clink, that means that it is energized. That will confirm you that it's energized, because when you power on the machine, obviously the machine just powered the sections that need to be powered, and when you start a game, also it will score number 10. So I don't know what you mean with frozen. I don't know if that's what you meant. But again, I think again I will suggest you just to go through the score motor and just double check that the switches, they have the proper opening. Check for those nylon spacers because they are very easy to come loose. And unfortunately, if those nylon spacers, if a nylon spacer is missing, you will need to replace that switch. And for that, yes, just get some latex gloves because your hands are gonna get extremely dirty. And if I remember, also it is recommended to put like a tape or zip tie on the stack, because once that you unscrew it from the score motor, boom, they're gonna open. So before pulling the last screw off the stack, secure them with a zip tie, secure them with tape. But because if they go out of order, that's it, you're done, because there's no human power that will put them back in the same order as how they were. And that's a very common mistake, because you see, oh, it has one screw, so people don't screw it. And when they, obviously, because it gives you a false sense of, oh, they are stick together. But because they have been together for so many years, obviously they're kind of like stuck to each other, but they're loose. So when you pull the stack, like, vroom, they just go everywhere, all the blades on the spacers. So that's a big no-no. So just be careful. If you're gonna separate a stack of switches from the score motor, secure them, take photos of how they were. So in case like something wrong happened, you at least have a reference like how they were. And but that's it. That's why I'm afraid of of score motors, and the reason I'm telling you this is because it happened to me once. I think it was a Target. I don't remember what machine I was working on, a Godleaf, I think, and I thought that. I mean, like how I said, I saw the stack of switches, I unscrew them, and I said, oh, they're all together. And as soon as I start pulling them off, boom, the whole stack just disintegrate. So all the blades like sprung out, and yeah, so it was impossible. It was impossible. Basically the case. It has been a few months and it fixed it. It was energized, but it's no longer doing it, and it's scoring accurately. Alright, so probably was just a switch. Probably was only a switch. But yeah, I mean, pretty much a lot of these EMs, you don't have to replace blades. I mean, for instance, this particular machine, I didn't have to replace any blade. Pretty much it was just clean up and adjustment. I will use a Dremel to clean up the blades or use a file, and then the leaf adjuster, and that's it. I mean, I did it relay by relay. If you remember my stream, I was doing it switch by switch by switch by switch by switch. So it's a little bit tedious, but I think at the end it's just rewarding. I mean, and this is proof, you know. We have been playing for 2 hours straight, and the machine's just working fine. And just working good. Let me see it. Yeah, EMs are fun. Definitely. Definitely it's fun. Oh. Alright, so I'm just gonna play one player game, a game with one player game, a game with two player game, a game with three player game, and a game with four player game, and that's it. Just to wrap it up. Just to be sure that it's, I mean, we played all night, well, not all night, but the last 2 hours of four player games, and it worked fine. So now I'm gonna play a one player, again, one player, one game. I'm gonna play one player, a two player game. So far, just to check that everything is working on the positions, but it should work. But just to wrap it up, just to be a good citizen, testing the machine. All right, awesome, man. Again, thanks for stopping by, and good luck. Good luck on your repair, and be patient, man. Be patient. I mean, it's doable. It is doable. Definitely, it's doable. But just be patient, man. And yeah, man, shoot me a message or connect to the next stream, and just update me, and we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out if we can. Two heads think better than one, and I'm sure we can make it work. Other than that, have a good night, man, and thanks for stopping by. I'm just gonna wrap a few games and call it a night also. Boo. Still with 22 credits. I started 2 hours ago with 25. So that's like 22. Okay, so I can see that there's another ball, another socket. Blinking. Weird. On the right side. Yep. So I have one ball from the left, one ball from the right. That just need to be adjusted. Just nothing. No. So far so good on a two-player game. Play is shifting player 1 to player 2. So that's good. We already checked that 4-player game. It will actually work. So we already did a 1-player game. Now we're doing a 2-player game. The next one will be a 3-player game, and the last one we are doing a 4-player game. And then we're going to bed. We're going to call it a night. One thing though that I just noticed right now, one of the chimes is sounding loose. So I'm sure, yeah, it's loose. Definitely it's loose. So that happened when you actually play a while. That there's a wire that actually holds the metal bar will disengage. It will just come loose, so it won't sound solid. It will sound like a tin. Yeah, it sounds loose. I'm not gonna worry for that now. I'm gonna work tomorrow. Oops, that's the other side. Actually, I'm curious. Let's take a look. I'm curious how bad it is. Just plunge this guy. Oh yeah. It's alright, so it has a washer, a plastic washer, and that washer is just disintegrated. That's all. It's just a rubber washer. And that's it. It just got disintegrated because of use, of course. So I'll order that part. It's just the way how it's whole it is held. It's just by this rubber washer. Yep, and I just press the start button again. By accident. Alright, so Player 1, player 2, player 3. It's so funny how it sounds like wah, wah, wah. And again, it's fine. I mean, the coil is firing. It's just the bar just like loose. Too late. Too slow, Junior. Too slow. Nope. Sounds so sad. Sounds really sad. Well, yeah, that's what I do this type of stream. You know, it's like a torture test to see what else will break. And we broke like a small rubber washer. That's what we broke. This is the one that actually gets triggered by the spinners. So with all the spinners that we have made, I'm not surprised that we just destroy that rubber grommet. definitely is the end of the spin. Alright guys, so the last game, last 4-player game. And just to confirm that we'll wrap up this turn for tonight. So, if you guys want to talk something, well, to play our last game, you're welcome to do it. I feel so bad for that metal, for that chime. Come on, yay! I made it through the gate. That's a good David Bowie. Machine. Jeez. Let it spin. Alright, board 3, player 1. Will be almost 3 hours that we played this machine. And definitely that's a torture test. if you wanted to test this machine, definitely. Definitely. Alright, so this is the last ball for all the players, so we can turn this machine off, call it a day. And I think that will complete this project. I'm not sure I will stream this machine again. If the machine is still here, I will probably stream it, but I'm not sure. Well, at least we got 100,000. There one. Alright. Whoa, match. Perfect. Alright guys, I think that's it. Yeah, we streamed for almost 3 hours this machine. We played a different combination of players and it worked. A couple of issues that easily fixed, that I will probably fix when I get the parts that I'm going to order. And that's it. I think that's it for this machine and this project. Probably tomorrow, I don't know if tomorrow I'm going to stream, depends how I feel, but if I stream tomorrow probably will be Funhouse. I don't think I streamed that machine just yet. And tomorrow, if I stream that game, probably will let you know what's going on with that game, which again is another project that I have to work on it. And so it will be fun. It will be fun to tear apart that machine. And but that's it, guys. And again, thanks again to all of you. Stop by and just chill and hang around with me for the last 3 hours. Alright guys, have a good week, and I'll see you guys later. See ya! Bye-bye.